Do not adjust your TV screens or your mobile phones. Pinch yourself if you're a Djokovic fan, because he has just defeated Jannik Sinner in the semi-final in 5 sets. This is the post-match reaction. We're going to go through it.
And here we go. We've got the final, and it's not Jannik Sinner. As you can see, this is maybe not an episode I really wanted to do, but in a way I did really want to do it because there's so much to talk about. And what I've just witnessed today could go down as one of the greatest days I've ever seen in tennis. We've seen tennis from the highest level possible. Carlos Alcaraz versus Zverev, 5-set thriller, one of the longest matches, one of the longest semi-final. And Alcaraz somehow managed to get through with Zverev serving for the match. Wind on, 5-6 hours. We then find ourselves in a position, or 5 hours, with the other two. Jannik Sinner, Novak Djokovic. Sinner beating him in the last 5 times. Djokovic not really given much of a chance at all, let's be fair. The bookmakers had him at 10s before the match. And somehow he's brought Jannik Sinner all the way to 5 sets and then beat him in 5 sets. Djokovic going for his 11th Australian Open Sunday and his 25th Grand Slam. The guy is ridiculous. I mean, I have to hold my hands up. I got it wrong, but I don't think I'm alone in that. You can sit there and smile as much as you want, but you never believed that was going to happen, truly. No one really thought Novak Djokovic had what it takes to beat a Jannik Sinner right now. I'm not going to say nobody. Of course, there was people who really believed in him to the end. I've seen the comments, and I know there's some real loyal supporters with Novak. But let's be honest, the last 2 years, he's not looked like he can do it. He's really struggled to close that gap, and it looked like he was never going to be able to do it. And here we are on the 30th of January now, 2026. I mean, he played the final against Nadal in 2012, one of the longest finals. And here he is, however many years later, doing it against a younger player, the second best player in the world, the guy who's won this tournament the last few times. And he's beaten him in a way where Sinner had all the break points towards the end. And it was pure mental strength, resilience, fight, warrior spirit, which we saw from Carlos Alcaraz, but we've seen it fivefold with Novak Djokovic. He's defeated Jannik Sinner 3-6, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4. I would say lost for words, but I've got a lot of words.
I like it. Continue with the praise. I like to hear you talk about Novak Djokovic in such a complimentary way. I know you've alluded to the fact everyone will probably come for me as well, but I wouldn't be happier for people coming for me for my bad prediction. And there's sometimes I go for Novak Djokovic, and sometimes, and I don't want to put this into superstitions and stuff, I wear a Djokovic t-shirt through the last big matches. I've been wearing it. I've been getting ready. Today, I went, you're not doing that. Wear just a plain t-shirt. And I wore just a plain t-shirt today. And I was like, I want to put the other one on. I was like, don't do it. Just leave it off. And then if he wins, you can change your t-shirt. So I've changed it now. I've got the good night on now. And the other one's been discarded. I thought it was going to be a Sinner easy win. I thought playing at night was going to make it a Sinner easy win. After seeing what Musetti did to Djokovic, after he's not played much tennis in this tournament, I didn't even think this level was still in there. Sinner's beaten him the last 6 times or something. And then we get this. It's literally, I don't know, it's made my Friday. It's one of the best things, one of the best performances, I think, ever in tennis. I'm not making this up. To be at his age, to beat the player at the Australian Open who is that dominant on this surface, I don't know. I am lost for words. I didn't think I would ever see this type of thing against Jannik Sinner, especially over 5 sets. I said I thought, Djokovic will need something lucky to be able to defeat someone like Sinner or Alcaraz. I think the luck came against Musetti. It wasn't in this match, and maybe the rest that he's had meant that he had a bit more in the tank to be able to go the distance in this one. But his level was so high. So all match, he just shortened the rallies, went power, big serving, was rarely missing first serves. I was shocked.
It was the forehand. It was the forehand what stood out to me.
Good.
I mean, Novak Djokovic went toe-to-toe with Jannik Sinner today. Jannik Sinner did not bottle this match. Jannik Sinner turned up and delivered his performance, which we know we're going to get from him. It is consistent. It is regular. It was a good Jannik Sinner performance. It was a fantastic Novak Djokovic performance because we've not seen him produce this level for a few years now.
Since the Olympics, I'd say.
Yeah, we didn't know he had this still there. And to do that, you could maybe allude to the fact that he was fortunate in the round before. He had a withdrawal in the with Mensik.
Yeah.
The draw's been quite fortunate as he's gone through. So he's had a little bit more rest. He's not been on the court so much. And maybe in his later years, that's exactly what he needs. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on that because you still need to, irrelevant to if this is your first match of the tournament and you've had 2 weeks on the beach before, I don't think it's that easy to go toe-to-toe with Jannik Sinner on a hard court and beat him, especially in 5 sets, especially with the way Jannik Sinner was playing. I think even in the 5th set, I think Jannik Sinner played some of his best tennis in the 5th.
Yeah.
He wasn't exactly down and out on his feet and exhausted. We saw winner after winner from him. I think that at one stage, midway through the 5th set, he'd only lost 2 points off his serve. He was formidable. So wow. Djokovic was the one struggling a little bit more in the 5th, but he was doing what he needs to do. And in terms of technical ability, Djokovic mastered that a decade ago, I feel, even longer. But this version of him right now is still showing that same level of technical ability, coupled with some mental fortitude and resilience I don't think we've ever seen across any sport ever. You talk about Nadal, he's got this. You talk about other athletes in other sports, talk about Ronaldo, talk about Messi, Tiger Woods, all these other different people, LeBron James. I think with Djokovic, his version of mental strength and resilience is something I've never, ever seen in anyone. And I think it needs to be studied in a laboratory because it is mind-boggling how he's still doing this at almost 39 years of age. How the final's going to go, I'm not saying Alcaraz is going to win it. Like I'm not entirely convinced because what I have seen has shocked me. And I put my hands up. I got it wrong. A lot of people did get it wrong. I know people are going to come in there and try and send for me, but I'm only being realistic and true to myself. I felt that at that moment in time. Right now, the way I'm looking at it, I feel that this final is in the balance. I'm not looking at it through any other lens of which I would usually say Carlos Alcaraz will beat Novak Djokovic, and I am convinced 90, 80%. This, for me, I'm not even sure. I think it's a 50-50 matchup in the final. Maybe Alcaraz edges it a little bit. He's younger. It might be easier for him to recover. But yeah, boy, Sunday, history, whatever way you look at it, is on the line because we're going to have the youngest ever Grand Slam champion to win. So Grand Slam, to win all 4 of the slams, to hold all of them. Or we're going to have Novak Djokovic reaching 25 Grand Slams. So there's history, whatever way you look at it.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, just while you're speaking, I know you spoke just before we came on the stream about his break points and how many he faced and how many he saved. 16 out of 18 break points saved. That shows how well Sinner was getting at him on his serve. And a couple of them, he was down love 40 and still able to hold. I was just blown away by the resilience of Djokovic today. That was one of the key factors. He didn't go away. He served big when he needed to. Just wild. Look at this. Winners, 72 from Jannik Sinner. And Djokovic hit nearly 30 less winners than Jannik Sinner, but still came out on top. 26 aces from Jannik Sinner as well. It was what? Look, the serving percentage. First serve percentage higher for Jannik Sinner as well. This isn't any old Jannik Sinner. This is Sinner playing high level.
Yeah.
And he's still beating him. I just don't know how he's done it. And him playing Alcaraz now, he's obviously played him not too long ago and beaten him in Australia before, whilst Djokovic was even injured himself. Alcaraz's struggles on the court earlier on today, they don't go unnoticed because him getting pushed by Zverev, I mean, we saw it go 5 sets. He'd be happy that Djokovic had to go 5 sets, obviously. But we know if he gets pushed around by Djokovic enough, we could see that happen again to Carlos Alcaraz. We've not seen it happen to Djokovic in a while. We've seen it happen to Sinner. We've seen it happen to Carlos. But Djokovic hasn't played as much tennis as either of them in this tournament.
And he is older.
Yeah, he is older.
Age.
Oh, yeah, no, it's wild. That's wild. Something else as well, which I don't know if anybody was aware of, but the longer this match went on, do you think it was starting to favour Novak Djokovic? Because Sinner has never won a match that's gone beyond 3 hours. I think it's 45 or 42. It says 42 here. But he's never won a match that's gone over 4 hours. So Djokovic, as soon as it got into the deep water, been here before. Carlos been there before as well. Jannik Sinner hasn't been there and won before. He's been to long matches, but he hasn't won.
Yeah, because it's always against Alcaraz, in which he loses.
Exactly.
So it's a difficult one to really analyse. I don't think that's the case. I think Jannik Sinner was pushing and playing fantastic tennis in that 5th set.
Saving that match point as well. I mean, we'll have
to get onto it. We'll have to get onto it because in all of the years we've done this podcast, so how many years has Game to Love been around? 5 years? 6 years?
6.
It is the craziest moment I've ever witnessed. And then we've seen quite a few. And what I mean by the craziest is at the moment, the emotions of the match. I wish I was doing a watch along in that particular moment because my reaction was absolutely crazy. I could not believe that Jannik Sinner saved that. The feelings it gave me was astonishing. I was watching the screen thinking, you know what? I think he's going to break. It gave me hope that he's going to break back. And then he followed it up with a mistake. And I was just like, oh no. But Novak Djokovic hit a ridiculous serve. Sinner somehow got it back. This is on match point.
I know.
And then Djokovic just absolutely thundered one into the corner. Sinner guessed the right way. It's like a penalty shootout and somehow managed to get the ball back.
Right,
and then the rally continued. Yeah, it was incredible. It's a moment in tennis I'll never forget. As much as it wasn't the deciding moment and it didn't influence the end of the result of the match, that particular moment is something which will always stay with me. I will never forget it. I will remember where I was when it happened. And Jannik Sinner to win it was incredible. He's going to be back. He's going to win Grand Slams. But the story, I think, is all about Djokovic tonight because that we can't say the same for him. I mean, this could be his last chance to get number 25. He's had a great opportunity to do it. To beat Alcaraz, the world number 1 in the final, is not going to be easy. But he's a match away from doing that.
Well, we always knew that if he was going to do it, he was going to have to beat them both. And that's the big problem for Djokovic, is if you beat one of them in the semi-final, the other one is nearly guaranteed to be waiting in that final. But if he was going to have someone waiting in the final, I think he would prefer it to be Carlos Alcaraz on this court because he knows he's beaten him on this court before and he's just witnessed Alcaraz suffering a little bit on the court. So it's a great narrative running in. It's not like he just demolished Zverev in straight sets and then we're going in and you just think, well, we probably beat him in straight sets now, or it'll be close for a set and then Alcaraz will take over. Now I have no clue. Now it's on. Game on. Yeah. Djokovic 25 is well and truly within reach.
Yeah, it's a real possibility now. It is something which it is within reach.
Watch his level today. That level can beat Alcaraz as well. I'm telling you that for free.
Well, I'm glad you said that because it leads me on to my other discussion, something I wanted to speak about. If you put Djokovic in Zverev's position today and Djokovic played like he did, he beats Alcaraz as well. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Because Zverev had Alcaraz beaten and he just struggled to show that extra level when it matters because it's just as Zverev. Zverev was amazing, by the way. I don't want to be nasty to him or sounding offensive or against him because he was really good. And this was a top Zverev. But in them big moments, he just doesn't have it. He just simply doesn't. Djokovic, though, role reversal. I think he beats Alcaraz in 5. And I think the 5th set is probably more convincing as well. So Djokovic, based off Alcaraz's performance today, probably is the standout performer of all of them. And he's going to be over the moon. He's just to put some stats to what he did. He saved 16 break points against Jannik Sinner.
Yeah.
And he only saved more against Andy Murray in the semi-finals in 2012. So
that's wild.
And that's after 114 matches played at the Australian Open. So it's not normal what he's done. So to put it into perspective, saving that amount of break points against, I would say, the best hardcourt player in the world, I think most people would agree, in Jannik Sinner, is mental.
Yeah. When I watch Djokovic on a court at this age, obviously I'm pretty much the same age as Novak Djokovic. And to see him do that for 4 hours against the best, I'd say the best player at the Australian Open, quite clearly the last 2 years. And it was the match between the two best Australian Open players, that one. That's why he said afterwards, they were like, "Oh, are you excited for the final?" He's like, I feel like I just played a final just now. That must be what it's like when you've lost that many times. Like he said here, he had my mobile number, so I had to change my number. He literally did. He had him on a string for the last, 6 times. And he's not even really got that close to winning sets. So to not only win a set, which I think was great, when he got that first set on the board, I was like, oh, there's hope here. But when he lost that third set, he looked tired. And I thought, oh, no, this is probably where Sinner wins in 4. And yeah, he did well. We can go, oh, well done, Djokovic. You really gave it a good go, and you really looked good against Sinner today. But no, he broke straight away in the 4th set and never looked back. Held his serve for the rest of the set, and then we go into the 5th. Yeah, insane. The mental fortitude of this man. I don't know if I should ever question it ever again, to be honest.
Well, we had good reason to question it based on the last few years. It wasn't,
and
just
the last week.
Yeah. I mean, the body of work going into it would have suggested that he wasn't able to compete. And that's why he was at 10s. I mean, who's ever seen Djokovic? You put £10 on Djokovic, say you would have won £100. It wasn't like people were expecting it at all. All the stats headed towards Sinner. Everything we've seen with our eyes was purely Jannik Sinner, and it wasn't the case. The scary thing for Alcaraz now, though, is Novak Djokovic's record in Australian Open finals is played 10, won 10.
Yeah.
So he's never lost an Australian Open final, and he's played 10 of them. So that is not a pretty reading for Carlos Alcaraz at all. And yeah, we're not going to give our prediction now. Let's do that later on or tomorrow. Yeah, and we'll do a prediction video a bit more once I've calmed down a little bit. But I just want to just say one thing, and this is me just shout out to all the guys who watch us, guys and girls. Gary has been someone who's been a really loyal supporter of the channel, and he did question some of the things I was saying about Musetti and how I felt like he's a better player right now with Novak Djokovic. I have to put my hands up and say, fair play. Like, what you're saying, I think is more right than what I said, because Novak Djokovic's ability to still do that now astonishes me. And as much as Musetti kind of did have him beat, so what I said wasn't crazy, he didn't beat him because physically he couldn't manage it. And Djokovic physically always seems to be able to manage it when it matters. And I think that is worth sometimes more than any kind of technical ability, because you've got to be in the game to win it. And he's always there in it right towards the end. So shout out to Gary. Shout out to all the Djokovic fans who give me a lot of heat. This victory is for you. Enjoy it. Savor it. Might be the last. But the way he's playing, who knows? Could be here next year as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and well done to you as well. I'm not going to forget you. You're obviously a big Djokovic fan. You got your T-shirt on.
Yeah, come on. I'm having a good night tonight. Friday night as well.
It's sad if you ask me, but I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't expect it today. It's really made the day that much more special. I'm really excited for Sunday now as well. I can't wait. I'll probably be able to barely sleep on Saturday night. To be up early, obviously in the UK, I'll probably kick off around 8 in the morning. But it'll be fantastic. I can't wait. I'm so happy to watch him in a final again. Who knew if we were ever going to see that again? And the fact that we get to see him at least this one last final, that is good enough for me right now. And I just want to see that same level, bring that exact same intensity into the final. If we get that, we're in for a real treat, aren't we, against Carlos Alcaraz?
Yeah, we're going to bring our prediction and preview of that final, speaking about everything. Well done, Djokovic fans. Have your moment in the sun. Well done, Novak Djokovic. And well done, Carlos Alcaraz, for making the final as well. Thanks, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, please give us a like, subscribe if you're new. And I think I'm going to have a lay down.
Go and crack open a beer, I think.
Just relax. All right. Goodbye.